Hi, welcome back to Julian's garden. It's very cloudy at the moment. We're supposed to have rain today and rain tomorrow as well. So I do apologize about the lighting of the video. So I'm just sitting on the edge of the conflict, and with one side the heads the Feijoas, or we call them Pineapple Guava as well, and another side on the other side, and they are native to South American, and we can grow them in both temperate climate or in subtropical climate. So we are in late April now, and my trees they are starting. I mean, the fruit they starting ripening. So when they drop off the bush or of the plant, and then we pick them and bring them inside after 2 or 3 days, and we can cut them, and then we just use the spoon and just scoop them out, and they just so yummy. So not everyone like them. Me and my family, we love them very much, even my daughter as well, but not everyone loves them. And the food tastes like some sort of bananas or pineapple and kiwi as well, so all at once. So maybe not everyone likes so many flavor, like floral flavor in the food like that. So there's many variety on the market at the moment. They claim that they are self-fertilized, but always better if you can plant several variety to get very close by together, so they can cross-pollinate. And mostly they recommend it to plants in the zone 8 to 11, but some people they claim that they can grow in zone 7 and even in zone 6 as well. I'm garden in zone 9A, by the way. It is raining, so I just went inside under my carport and put my warm jacket on. So I want to talk with you a little. And after that, we're going to go into the garden and show you the different stage of my Feijoa bush and plant as well. So, Feijoa is evergreen. So, if you want to grow them like a hedge or screening, it works very well, and it responds pruning very well too. So, but mindful, if you prune them too hard, that means they will reduce the production of fruiting. And you can put them into both like bush form, or also you can keep them like a tree form as well. So I kind like keep them both way. So most of my hedge I keep them like the bush form, and one area that area is quite narrow, so I try to keep them at the tree form. It is very hardy plants in my zone or in my area, and I think it's just wonderful plant all year round with the silver florets, and especially in the winter, bring a lot of winter interest for your yard or for your garden. And most of the time, all the bushes or all the trees, the leaves just falling off and gone, just very bare. But the heads of the Feijoa just bring so many structure for my garden. And following that, in the spring, you can got so many flowers with pink petals, and I think the petal a little bit like roughly. And then you can make with jam or jellies and cordial with them. And if you want to have the fruit, you might don't want to pick so many petals of it as well. And the birds in my area, they love eating the petal of the plant. So if you want to make to have a lot of food, so you might want to protect the birds from eating your petals. And later of the seasons, in late autumn in my area, and the fruit that's ripening, they will drop off the bush, and you just pick them up. Alright, it is raining, so I just picked some of the Feijoa a little while ago. I know it still has some under the trees. And let's look at some stage of the Feijoa that I got in my front yard over here. So first, you can see on this side, I got 4 bushes. Now these bushes that I just planted, or when we moved in and we planted them first, so they are 3 years old. Let me open up the netting a little, because last year we got so many fruit fly, and I just want to protect the fruits this year. So I didn't want to take any chance that got any fruit flies this year, because they just were so precious. I don't want to lose them. Okay, so you can see this bush is 3 years old and it's quite large. I think over 3 meter wide. And I got this one as well. I mean, they are the same on planted 3 years ago. Let me show you so many food. Can you see that? Oh, so many food just hanging down there. And I got 3 variety actually. And here you can see, let me show you this one, the skin quite smooth, very smooth actually, and round and small. And this bush, I got the very large actually, very large fruit and long and very rough. The skin's very rough. And come this way, I got different variety. So this one I planted 2 years ago, and I did trim it a lot. Let me tell you the story later. Let me show you the fruit first. And this one, the fruit is more oval, but the skin very smooth. So I got 3 varieties in here, and I told you that I did trim it because you can see that area there, I did trim it last early spring. I mean this early spring actually, because I don't want the tree just standing down more lower branches down this way because it's touching my other roses, because I want to lift the canopy up. And again on this side I got 2 more bushes as well, and these are 2 years old when I planted 3 all together. You can see this one I pruned it, so it look quite skinny, but a lot of fruit at the back. Few days ago, or few weeks ago, I just showed you this tree. I thought I had only 2 fruit, but no, there's so many fruit. Look at that. There's so many fruit on the little trees. So these trees, they all 2 years old, and this one I didn't trim it at all. But it look very large. Look at that. Look very large and lots of fruit on. Let me show you. So I recommend if you can get several variety. Let me try to lift the lighting a little. Get several variety and you can have lots of fruit. And you can see on my trees or on the bushes I got. They are not grafted tree. They all kind of seasoning, or maybe the grower grow them from the cutting. I'm not sure because in the tag it didn't say. And they're doing very well and no problem at all. I just need to keep the snail and snack away from them. Look at that. There's the snail just eating there. Come this way. I will show you some other trees that I planted last winter. So they are very young, nearly a year's old tree, and it produce fruit as well. And here I show you this tree. I got 3 trees in here. I try to train them into the tree actually, like a standard tree, like with the main trunk, and I try to pull it kind of put up in the middle so it have very good airflow. And this one, it didn't have any flower, but this one it got flower, and that's one as well this early spring. And this one it got some fruit. Look at that. They already have some fruit on. So you can see with the seasoning, or not sure they go from the seed or from the cutting, but this one already produced the fruit, and this one it will have a fruit as well. But when I was digging that bush out of this area, by accident I just knocked the fruit off. So it definitely produced the fruit this year, and you can see how skinny this is, and just it's not 1 year old yet. And let me see, maybe it's just the size of my thumb, or even smaller than the size of my thumb. They produce very early years of the fruits because I did water them. I mean, they got all the drip on. Whenever I water my rose or the garden, I turn the drip irrigation on, and they all receive the water. And you know that when you look on the internet, a lot of people saying that they're very hardy. I would say they're very hardy, they're very drought tolerant, and they're very frost tolerant as well. But if you want them to produce the fruits, you have to feed them and water them. And you can see I got a lot of compost. Now, every spring I give them very thick layer of compost. I think maybe 15 centimeter of compost. You can use your homemade compost. I use both with my homemade compost and my mushroom compost. Not my mushroom compost, I order a lot, like throughout the year, throughout the season as well. But every spring I give them a lot of compost, and during the season they always to be moist and they never been dry out. It's raining again, so I'm under my carport again. So the best time to plant Feijoa plants in the early spring or early autumn. That's in my experience. And for me, in the early spring, because later you can have lots of the months after that, and for them to put on the new growth and adapt into the new area. I mean, in your garden. And early autumn, because at that time, that means the frost not come yet, so you still have several months for the tree or for the plant to adapt into your location or into their new home. And they like to be planted in full sun. 8 hours plus of full sun, that could be best for them. Now they prefer not to be in the area that is your location have a lot of humidity. They don't like it. They prefer to be in dry and airy condition. So make sure that you choose a location wisely. It's an area that's too clouded and they won't like it. They like to be airy and open, lot of sun. For the soil type, they quite adaptable. Now they can be planted in slightly acidic, but they can be planted in slightly alkaline soil as well. They do best in neutral soil though. But if you planted them in very alkaline soil, they won't like it. Their leaf can turn to yellow. And so I think that's it. In my advice, if you want your Feijoas to produce a fruit very early and to perform so well, you have to water them. You have to feed them. When your tree more established and or get bigger after several years, and they can withstand with the longer periods of the drought. But as I say, be mindful. You have to water them if you want the food. Have to feed them if you want the food as well. So that's it for the video today. I hope all the information I give you it will helpful and inspire you if you want to buy several trees or several variety as well. For them to cross correlation, and you can to buy trees from very reputable nursery with the grafted tree as well. Normally those trees they guarantee that they will put after several years, but I say to you, I have no problem with the seedling tree or the cutting trees that I just got from my local garden center. So thank you so much for watching and see you next video. Bye bye.